Greetings everyone, this is Elizabeth and I am back today on October 18th with some fall/Halloween cards. This particular one is more fall oriented because I gotta do a card swap that requires some pattern papers and a Thanksgiving theme, which is fall. So I am so excited to share this with you. I don't have like a happy Thanksgiving hot plate, but I do have the grateful. And that's what Thanksgiving is all about, right? Being grateful. Now, if you want to change this up to be Halloween, grab a spooky sentiment and then grab your Halloween papers. Now, I picked 3 12 by 12 sheets of paper and then just started chopping them up. 2 of the sheets, okay, the houndstooth and the this little guy here, I cut into 5 1/4 by 4 1/2, and I got as many as I could out of one 12 by 12 sheet of paper. And then I had some leftovers, and you'll see as I put them together, I just cut them to make them fit. So instead of having a full sheet border my green, I'm just going to have these 2 little pieces. And that works perfectly fine. And then my green sheet, I cut most of them to 3 1/4 by 5 1/2. So 5 1/2 by 3 1/4. And there was a couple that were a little bit smaller, and you'll see them in here a little bit later. My sentiment, I want to put on some vellum. So I cut some 2-inch strips, 5 1/4 or 5 1/2. Ooh, I don't know. What did I do? Did I do 5 1/2? Yes, I did. 5 1/2 by 2 inches. That way there, if I wanted it to go the full length of the card, like so, I could. But if I need to trim it, I absolutely can. And that is going to sit on top of my plaid. Now, when you're picking your colors, even for Halloween or whatnot, you're going to go with something that will take writing really well. So if I wrote on a big black pen, you would see that on this pattern. It would kind of get lost here. It would probably show up here. So this one can be either or because it's light enough that you could actually put another die cut or another sentiment on there and you could still read it. This one definitely would kind of get lost unless you did like a border. But if I did say like that on there, it kind of blends in. But if I put it on there, it pops out a little bit better. And let's try this one. Yeah, I was right. Because it's a lighter shade and it's more muted, your sentiment would go over the top very well. And these all did come out of the same paper pack, but you don't have to use a paper pack. You can go and grab whatever you need. So if you're doing Halloween, maybe you're doing purple, orange, and something spooky, or a purple or an orange here so that your sentiment stands out, and 2 spooky patterns. So the options are endless. You can easily stay away from solid colors just by picking patterns that have more open space and aren't very busy. I call them my lights, mediums, and darks. Okay, kind of look at it just like that. So that's what we've chosen there. And I've already cut 2-inch strips off of my Glimmer foil, okay? Glimmer foil for the Glimmer machine. You can kind of see it here. It was ready to go. Let's unplug that for a second, and then we'll plug that back in while I explain a little bit of this. Glimmer foil, all of the hot foils, okay? Foil quill, Glimmer foil. There's some other brands out there. I don't know them all. This is what I have. It already has the glue in it. So you don't need the toner for toner foil, okay? Because toner foil doesn't have any sticky stuff built in. So the toner becomes the glue, whereas this has the glue in it. And so you're able to press it right down into your paper just by adding heat and pressure, and you'll get your image. Now, I've got my paper, okay? And remember, your foil, this is the icky side. This side you don't want to see. That should be against your paper, okay? Just like that. Even in toner printing, you want to be able to see this, and the gray is against the paper, okay? Once you've got that situated where you need it, you're going to take your plate so that you can actually read it, okay? And you're going to set it down. Now, Spellbinder's hot plates have engraving on the back, so it's really easy to tell which is the back for those. But if it's a word, you'll be able to read it. And then you can just adhere that down with a little bit of, this is heat safe tape. I got it on Amazon. They use it in this type of application where they need to heat set something, okay? It's very easy to use. You can bend it off there first, then trim what you need. And I am going to, I want this to stay there, so I'm going to actually extend that tape to my little paper there. Let's plug this back in, because we need a green ready light, which I did have it going for a second there, but I think it just shut off. Sitting there too long, and that's all right. So, doing mass production, because I need a lot of cards for my card swap, I get everything ready. Everything ready to go. Actually, I'm going to set those right there. And then, then I do the assembly once everything's done. So I've cut all of my paper, paired them with a card base, cut all of my sentiment piece strips, cut all of my foil, ready to go. And now I'm just going to wait for this to heat up. I did tape my two plates together so I don't have to mess with them, and I just use that heat safe tape. I will have to replace that after a while. I'm sure it'll wear down. But I got tired of trying to keep them together and keep them steady, moving it from one place to the other. You do have to run this through a die cutting machine. Glimmer Foil System does not go through your Gemini. You will void your Gemini and you will bust your Glimmer. So don't ruin your machines. Just get a machine that's adequate for this here, which I did buy the matching Spellbinder's Platinum. And I got the Platinum because it's a bigger die cutting machine. Since I already have the little Cuttlebug, this does not fit in my Cuttlebug. I've heard that it does fit in some Cuttlebugs, but it doesn't fit in mine. It's literally just a hair too big. Okay, so we are not getting ready. So I'm going to go ahead and shut it off. And I will be right back in about a couple minutes. I'm going to leave it set for a minute, and then I'm going to turn it back on and see if it'll register platform ready. Yep, all it did is it got tired of waiting on me, so it shut down, and I switched it off for 10-15 seconds, switched it back on, and we have platform ready in about a minute. So we want our plate, the metal plate, against the hot area, okay, because we need that to heat up. And then we're just going to set our little sandwich on top, and then we're going to hit the timer. The timer's going to go. When it stops flashing, we're going to send it through our die cutting machine. I got these with, and when I bought the system, this came with it. I don't like these. It's hard to grab the hot plate, get it to drop, and let go. A friend of mine, she bought this recently, and hers came with one that looks like this. So I went on Spellbinders and I looked it up, and I was like, yes, because this, you grab it, then you push the button. There's no trying to get it to let go, to separate and pinch it. Yeah, I don't like these ones, but they will work in a pinch. This one, I really like this one. So we just wait for that little timer. There, it has stopped. So I'm gonna place my fingers right here underneath this handle, and then I'm gonna pinch together and pull it to me. Okay, because this area is just a little warm. And then I'm turning to my die cutting machine, and it's going through. And you want to do it kind of slow, just so it gets that pressure in there. Okay, and then we can bring it on back. We'll take this off. This area is hot. Okay, I don't mind that much heat, but this gets screaming hot, which means your die cut, hot plate is super duper hot. Okay, so we're gonna set that there. See how nice that does? Just plop. And then we're gonna peel. Now that didn't do too well. Okay, and this happens. You have to find the right setting for it. And I did cut a couple of extras just because I wasn't sure. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and toss this one because it's too little for me to worry about. So I'm going to grab another sheet of vellum, and it might be the vellum. You know, this is just old vellum I've had forever. And if it doesn't work, that's okay. I'm not gonna worry too much about it. I'll figure something out. So we've got, let's get that taped down. So we're gonna borrow one of our tapes from this. Okay. We'll put that over the top. We're going to tape that down to that. Okay. And we're going to kind of eyeball where we want this. Right there. Okay. Then we're going to slide this back into place. Wait for the platform ready. I'm going to go ahead and set this. Oops. Pick it up from the right end here. And it does cool down fairly quickly, so that's a plus. Okay. So I'm just going to let that heat up even longer by putting it on while it's waiting. Okay. And if you get over foiling, just wait for platform ready before you put your die down. That way there it doesn't heat up as long. There's lots of different tips and tricks that you can try. That is really interesting though, even though it's not quite what I want. I do want a more perfect foil. But we'll see. We'll see if we can get the vellum to work. If not, we're gonna stamp directly to the paper because this is a nice thickness and it is smooth. And while we're there, I do have a shim for this. I have my 120 shim and a 65-pound shim. And I think I'm going to do the 120 shim for my super thin papers. I guess I should have read this. I left myself a note. So vellum would definitely fall into the super thin. And this is taking forever to heat up. And there it goes, platform ready. Hit the timer, wait for that to go off. And we're just gonna set that right on top and send everybody through the die cutting machine. And I just have it set up on another table next to me so I can just pull it out, swing over, and put it in. And I will probably fast forward through these parts so you guys aren't waiting for this. Okay. Okay, let's see how that one turned out. Get my little hot mat here. And I don't know if that one even worked at all. Yeah, I can tell right through the paper that didn't set at all. Well, I guess it did set, just not enough, even with the pressure. So it just might be my vellum, and that's okay. I'll do it the other way. But look at that. It would have been perfect. Minus this little bit of overfoiling. Okay. Get this peeled off, just like so. And then I'm just going to peel my heat safe tape right up. Put that in the garbage. Okay, so we're going to nix this idea because I can't get it to work. But I'm going to save these because these might be fun in a grungy look. But that's not what I'm going for. So we're going to go straight to paper. And in order to do that, I'm going to go ahead and plug this in. I'm going to grab the foil. And I kind of want it towards the bottom. If I have to do this way, I'm going to put this here towards the bottom. Because I'm not even going to try and center this. That would just not work for me at all. So we're going to put that there. We're going to grab our foil plate. And we're going to set it here. And I can see the grid lines. You know, if I put this on my glass grid, I can kind of see, kind of judge its straightness. And I'm also got the grids from this, so, you know, I would know that was crooked. I'm just gonna get that up there a little bit. Okay, and then I'm just gonna pinch those little tabs down. Okay. Now this paper is thicker, so hopefully it will appreciate the foil better. I'll go ahead and fast forward while we wait. All right, hopefully that worked. Let's plug that in. So we're just going to peel this up. Oh yes. Oh ho ho, it's so much better. Ooh, can you guys see that? Yes, I love this. And we have a couple little spots that overfoiled. That is no big deal. You can leave it there, or you can get a mono sand eraser, okay, by Tombow. It's got a little specks of sand in there, so it's like a little piece of sandpaper eraser, and just give it a little bit of a rub. Now it will eat through your paper, so don't push too hard at first, you know. So like right there, I got a little piece, and voila, perfect foiling. Gotta love that. So, yeah, see, a little bit of air cools that down pretty quick. Peel you up. Peel off my little hold down paper. Oops. Don't peel it off like that. There we go. And so now I can just repeat that process. So I'm going to take my card, because these pieces go together. So I'm going to take this from my pile, scoot it to another pile, grab the next green piece. And again, I'm going to use my grid mat. You can use a T-ruler, whatever you need to do to get your sentiment as straight as you want it. I'm going to set this on here. I'm going to take this heat tape, and I will post a link to the heat tape. You get a ton of it from Amazon, and it was a couple of bucks, but I think you get 2 rolls of this. So you don't even have to save it. You can peel it and toss it out every single time. It's not a big deal. Okay, my platform is ready. And, ooh, that looks pretty even. Put that down. So now we're going to gently tip everybody back like so. Put our little, oops, little dude on there. And I used a 65-pound shim with my thicker cardstock. Okay, 65. Not, yours might be nice and tight going through your machine, and it will be just fine just using the shims that they give you. Better turn that on. Okay, but if you're finding it's not quite right, give it a little shim. Do a little bit at a time. Start with a thinner shim and work your way up to a thicker shim. Okay, and if it's over foiling, get your platform hot first, then set your die on top so it doesn't heat for as long. Okay, so kind of play around with your machine to see how it works for you. Over at my die cutting station, my desk is a kind of a mess over there, so I did slowly go forward and backwards so I didn't have to wiggle it out the backside. So mine seemed to do just fine with 2 passes. So we went in and came back out nice and slowly. Our little timer is ready. We're gonna pop this out and head on over. Put that back in, and we're gonna grab our little tape so we don't burn ourselves. Ta-da! And for my tape, I just bent it over on one end. That way there, it didn't stick completely, and I get this nice little handle to peel it up. So hopefully that little tip helped you. Ooh, look at that. And again, a little bit of overfoiling. I'll just erase that while the timer's going on the next one. I mean, how fun is that? So I'm going to go ahead and shut this off, and I'm just going to put a couple of these cards together that I've already got started. Okay. So this one is one where I took one of my patterns and I cut it the full size of the card. So that easily goes down like that. This one, I just trimmed it so that we get the layers. Okay, can you see that? Just get the layers. Let's glue that down. Okay. Nice thick papers out of that cardstock pack. And you can do this with thin papers too. You just have to change your sandwich for your foil item. Okay, so that's there. Now this piece is going to go in the center. Such a beautiful piece of paper. And they go so nicely together. Use that houndstooth to do that. Act as a little bit of a frame for that. And then this one is going to go to the center of both of those. Look at that. And I have one card done. I'm going to grab my sand eraser that I misplaced, and I'm just going to rub that glitter off. Glitter foil, sorry. It's shiny like glitter. Just like so. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. And that card is ready to go out. And then here's one where I had strips left, okay? So I'm going to actually put that one at the top, that one at the bottom, and that one through the middle. Yeah. I like to do lighter at the top. Like so. And you, pardon me, you can make your paper stretch even further. You could literally just do strips. So you would need 2 1/4-inch strips of that one and 2 1/4-inch strips of that one, and then your piece in the middle. So there's lots of ways to do this, but I don't want to deal with a bunch of tiny little strips. And I've got so much paper. I've got so much paper. I'm not gonna be stingy on the paper, but if you're low and you only have a couple of sheets, cut a bunch of strips, and then you can really make some fun designs with that. Because remember, this, I'm going to be making 9 cards with 3 sheets of 12 by 12. And I literally had scraps, like 5 little pieces of scraps left. I'm going to send that up with just a little bit more. I just want a little bit of that houndstooth and more of that leaf showing. Aren't those gorgeous? And I'll post pictures at the end. I'll show you what my scraps were. Oh, nope, I only had 4 little scraps. I had that little piece, that one, and that one. That's all I had left. Now, there are people out there that do sheet loads, and they tell you how to exactly cut your papers so that you use every last inch of them. But yeah, I don't. Oh, and I have this. This goes to somebody. I think you belong over there. So yeah, isn't that fabulous? Woohoo! I want to thank you for joining me today. If you liked this video and want to see more foiling or just more in-depth foiling, let me know. Otherwise, when I use my foil machine, I'm just going to zoom through the foil process and be like, hey, I foiled this. If this inspires you to pull out your foiling system, whether it's the Glimmer Hot Foil System or the Mink and laminators for the toner foiling systems, be sure to share and tag #ChatWithSassy on Instagram or Facebook, or join the Facebook group Chat with Sassy's Crafty Friends and post your pictures there. We'd love to see what you create. I hope you have a wonderful day. Until next time, bye-bye.